Hey, hi, do you remember this?
We will always make sure that player health and safety is the #1 priority in the NFL.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, claiming they truly care about the roster of players, yet
A lawsuit claiming the NFL uses race as a factor in determining which former players are compensated for suffering head injuries.
when it came to NFL retirees, specifically black retirees, the league showed they don't really give a damn.
The NFL today, as part of its billion-dollar settlement of a class action lawsuit over concussions, is promising to end a practice called race norming.
So what is race norming?
A eugenicist-sounding term for a racist and discredited practice. When evaluating dementia claims made by former players in the league's concussion settlement, it assumed black players started out with lower cognitive function than white and other non-black players. This made it harder for black retired players to show a deficit to qualify for a payout.
Kevin Henry, a former NFL player, can unfortunately inform you of this grim practice.
I've had at least 17 surgeries. 17. And I'm still getting them.
In 2017, a neurologist determined that Henry was suffering from a cognitive decline consistent with mild dementia. So Henry submitted a claim to the landmark 2013 NFL concussion settlement program, which paid eligible former players suffering from the effects of head injuries.
What was the result of the claim you filed?
I was denied.
It was odd seeing Commissioner Goodell say something like,
"We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter,"
and embrace anti-racist messaging in end zones coupled with "it takes all of us," while displaying the image of a man Goodell helped boot from the league while following his marching orders from a racist president.
It's almost the classic definition of racial discrimination, using race as a basis of denying benefits to a disadvantaged or subordinated group because of race.
And here's the thing. If Black Lives Matter did matter to Goodell as he claims, why was race norming still a practice until this lawsuit by Najee Davenport and Kevin Henry? That's the question.
The effect of using this race norm for the NFL is that it drastically limits the amount of damages they're going to have to pay out.
Ah yes, money. Goodell and the owners have one goal: more. Sportico crunched the numbers and can answer the question more directly. Yes, the NFL is on track to hit $25 billion with a B by 2027, up from roughly $18 billion in 2021. They locked up media deals. They secured the bag by any means necessary, and that meant discarding retirees from compensation to squeeze every penny. Or at least that was until these former players filed this lawsuit. Then the floodgates opened and simply could not be contained.
Now, this week, the NFL promised to stop using race norming and to review the cases of black players who feel they have been unfairly discriminated against.
In October of 2021, the league and retirees' attorneys reached an agreement to end the controversial and racist practice. Plus,
Now, all claims previously made under the concussion settlement will be reopened and reassessed without the discriminatory practice.
and take a wild guess. What happened when these discriminatory practices were not in place anymore? Hundreds of black NFL retirees denied payouts in the $1 billion concussion settlement now qualify for awards after their tests were rescored to eliminate racial bias. Nearly 650 men have had their dementia tests automatically rescored, according to a report released Friday by the law firm handling claims against the NFL. The retirees had met the other criteria for a successful claim, which includes hours of validity testing to show that their daily lives are significantly impaired and that they are not malingering.
It's just that it makes it sound as if the NFL wasn't in on it. It makes it sound as if the NFL wasn't cognizant of what it was up to. I mean, just imagine you're going through this lawsuit. You're very much aware, if you're in the NFL, of how you're applying race norming, but you're vilifying Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee for basically racial injustice. And then you run Colin Kaepernick out of the league for protesting racial injustice while simultaneously using a racially unjust system to determine who should be compensated.
51 now qualify for moderate to advanced dementia awards, which vary based on condition and years of play. Nearly 250 show signs of early dementia and will receive up to $35,000 in enhanced medical testing and treatment. All of them initially failed to qualify because of the race norming issues in testing.
So when you ask me about the steps of the NFL, it always seems as if this league epitomizes being successful in spite of itself. Whether it's domestic violence, whether it's trying to conceal the information in terms of how this game impacts brains to begin with, it always feels as if they are responding to their own ineptitude more so than being proactive to a problem.